Am I wrong for writing something in my journal to expose that my wife was reading it? I'm 29 and my wife is 28. She is 5 months pregnant. I have a journal that I write in occasionally. My wife knows I have one, and I have told her it's private. I don't have any big secrets, but it's a private space for me to write out some thoughts and give me time to think. A week ago, I started to suspect that my wife was reading my journal. I had written that it would be nice to see a friend again because we hadn't seen each other in over 2 years. The next day, my wife asked me about how that friend was doing and if we are planning on meeting up anytime. I found that a bit coincidental. Then I started thinking back on some other coincidences, such as my wife getting me something relatively obscure for my birthday that I have written about. I wanted to be absolutely sure, so last night I wrote up a fake thought that my wife was gaining so much weight in pregnancy and becoming unattractive. She's not, she's feeling fine. That sounds harsh, but I wanted to write something that 100% was fake, and I never had said or implied or something my wife would just ignore. Well, today I went out to get groceries and came home to my wife crying. I asked her why, and she said she can't believe I thought she was overweight and unattractive. I asked her why she was reading my journal, that she knew was private. She said that's not the point. The problem is what I wrote. I told her the whole point was for me to catch her reading it, and now I know she does. She called me an asshole and said I need to apologize. But this time, I was pretty mad, so I will never apologize for anything I wrote in my journal, and she needs to realize that she's the only one who did something wrong, otherwise we have bigger problems in our relationship. I am committed to holding my line and not compromising, but I'm still angry. So, AITA, am I wrong for giving my mother-in-law the wrong address so she could no longer send her granddaughters gifts? I have been married to my wife for 15 years. We have a wonderful 14-year-old daughter and an 8-year-old son. My wife's mother has some views that I don't agree with. 2 years ago, for our daughter's birthday, she sent her a book about crash dieting that promised something like 10 pounds of weight loss in 3 days. Our daughter was devastated because the underlying message was clear as day. It was months until she started eating a whole plate of food for dinner again. Our daughter is healthier. She is highly active, studious, and most importantly, happy. Her grandmother believes that she's not reacting to her full potential, whatever that means, and thinks that she's be on the front covers of magazines if she can just share it some way, since she made these views clear to me. I have made it my mission to block any supervisor contact, and this includes gifts. About a month ago, with my daughter's upcoming 14th birthday, Grandma texted me asking for our new address. Normally, she would ask my wife, but since she didn't answer within 10 minutes, she texted me instead. My wife would have given her our real address, but I was able to respond first with a fake one and tell my wife no response was necessary. I couldn't guarantee that I'll be at home to intercept any gifts, and my daughter will open something addresses to her. It gave her some numbers, a street somewhere that I wasn't even sure existed. A couple of weeks later, after my daughter's birthday, I realized that it did not in fact exist as her package was returned to her. Both she and my wife were furious, and my wife amended the address I gave her before. Grandma insisted. It was a completely innocent package. Well, the day it was scheduled for delivery, I decided to work from home. When it arrived, I opened it up and found a button-twirling uniform. My daughter's hobby. Sound innocent enough? It was at least 2 sizes too small. I sat my wife down with the stupid thing in front of us and said it was clearly intentional, which my wife refuses to acknowledge. Now she and her mother are even madder at me for throwing the uniform into the neighbor's garbage, of course with neighbor's permission. So, did I handle this correctly? Am I wrong for refusing to compromise on custody after my daughter's father lied about what they were doing? I co-parent with my 13-year-old Lily with her father. We are generally flexible with days and neither of us have a problem with the other. A few weeks ago, he texted me, could I pick up Lily Friday, September X instead of Y and drop her off instead of B? When I asked him why, he said his brother-in-law passed away and his funeral was Saturday, and he wanted to leave Friday. It was in a city several hours away. I agreed to this. I wasn't happy with her missing school, but I compromised it. A few days ago, a friend of mine sent me pictures of him with Lily at a ball game from that Friday in the city where his Bill's funeral was. He never told me anything about that. I texted him and asked what was up with that and why he had lied. And he said that he didn't lie. It'd been a lucky coincidence. Their favorite team was playing in that city, and he figured they might as well go to a game to see some of your favorite players. I asked if she had homework she should be doing, and he said she had plenty of other time to do it, and this was important to him. I'm very big on the importance of Lily doing well in school, so this was upsetting to me that he pulled the child's game and something he wanted to do over the schoolwork. I don't even think she liked the team for any reason other than to connect with her father, and I think this was mostly for him, because I see all the nostalgia stuff he posts on social media about the team. I told him he shouldn't have left that hour of the plan he gave me, and that I wasn't changing custody anymore for his mother's birthday, and that he couldn't pick her up and then drop her off a few hours later, but she wasn't staying overnight, and I wanted those hours back later. Now he's incredibly upset at me, and called me an asshole for overacting. I just want Lily to understand that education is important, and to be prioritized and be surrounded by people who understand that. So guys, am I wrong with that? Am I wrong for installing a lock on the bathroom door after my brother-in-law kept bargaining? My husband's brother-in-law moved on with us after his divorce a few weeks ago. The problem I have is that he started bargaining to the bathroom whenever I'm using it. He never knocks or something. Another thing is that he only does this when it's me in the bathroom, not his brother. I told my husband about that, and he just laughed it off and called me a paranoid. It was embarrassing, because his brother would see me exposed, and it made me uncomfortable. My husband said he spoke to him and he apologized, but did it again. When my husband and I get married, we promised to not have any locks or lock each other out of any room. So the bathroom didn't have a lock. I was really considering getting a lock, and I let my husband know that if his brother walks in on me in the bathroom one more time, then a lock will instantly be installed. He didn't say anything. Well, yesterday, brother-in-law walked in on me showering. He knew I would be in the shower, but bargaining anymore, claiming he needed to pee. I had enough. I went out and got a lock and installed it. My husband got home, saw it, and blew up on me, saying I violated an agreement that I was part of and went against his wishes, being uncomfortable with locks in his house. He demanded I remove it and promised and guaranteed that his brother won't walk in one more again, But I refused. He's been pissed about it since then, and it's given the silence treatment. Info, I'm not close with my brother-in-law. My husband is. I don't even talk to him that much, and I barely even sat with him at any gathering before he moved in with us. So, before I provide an update on the situation, it's worth nothing that my brother-in-law used to do this with the bedroom too, but at least I'm not always exposed in the bedroom. So my husband came home, and I told him the lock will not be removed till his brother leaves, and his reaction was to try and remove the lock himself and tell me to quit acting childishly. What I did was not shout or scream, but pack a bag and go to my mom's house for the next few days or so till this gets resolved somehow. On my way out, I saw my brother-in-law in the driveway smoking. He knew what the agreement between me and my husband was about, but instead of stepping up to fix it, he offered to take me to my mom's house, saying that my husband could use some space from me. This made me cry. The whole Uber ride to my mom's house. The reason I felt often it because brother-in-law tend to be hurtful when he talks about others. I did all I could to win his approval, but he thinks less of me and thinks I'm childish, just like my husband says. AITA for refusing to return my neighbor's special binoculars unless his wife comes and get them. Hi, I recently moved into a new neighborhood. All my neighbors are lovely, especially my next door neighbor. Bless his heart. Wait. He's married and has 2 kids. I noticed that he's been looking toward my house for a while. So far, I'd caught him doing it twice. He had his binoculars with him and was basically seemingly looking at my living room. I hate confrontation, so what I did was close the curtains and go about my day, but it started escalating. The other day, he was peeking at my backyard when I was sitting from his balcony, and his binoculars fell in my backyard. I looked up, and he was gone. He knew that I saw him. I just took the binoculars and put them aside. In the evening, he came knocking at my door asking how I was done and whatnot. I rolled my eyes but kept it civil. Then he brought up the binoculars and said that they must have fallen in your backyard earlier today. I was like, wonder how that happened. He said something about his kids probably messing with them and asked if I could go get them for him. I said, I have them, but I won't give them to him unless his wife comes and gets them herself. He looked at me shocked and angry and said that these binoculars are his. I told him that I will give them back once his wife shows up and asks for them. All he has to do is send her over. He threw a fit saying he can't send her because then she will misunderstand the situation. I told him there is no misunderstanding. If their kids are really once using the binoculars and insisted I won't give them back till his wife comes and gets it. We got into an argument, but he kept his voice as low as he could, then left looking furious. He's been complaining about me wanting to stir drama and keeps demanding I return his binoculars back to him and leave his wife out of it. So guys, AITA, oh also, forget his age, he is 37.